All right, everybody, what's up? Sorry, guys, had some technical issues there before. Oh, what's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Can everybody hear me okay? All right, sweet. All right, guys, what's up? Oh, sorry about that, guys. We had some technical issues.
Yeah, I think people will find it. They'll see that we're live. They're already waiting, so.
Yeah. All right, everybody, what's up, guys? Guys, I'm going to give some time for people to log on. I mean, I had some technical issues with my streaming software. My streaming software is that's the software that connects my my screen share to YouTube, and that software was completely down. So I had to create this new live link where you guys just get to look at my face. So I'm going to give some time for people to switch back over. All right, I'm going to give some time for people to come over to the new link. I got my Yankee hat on today, guys, in honor of baseball back. Oh, man, I can't tell you guys how happy I am to have baseball back. How happy are you guys to see sports again? How many sports fans I have with me here tonight? How happy you guys to have sports? Oh, man. What's up, Pope? What should we be looking for on Sundays, guys? Honestly, my usual Sunday routine, I'll share with you guys kind of what I usually do and what I usually kind of look for going into Sundays. I'm always watching the futures market. I'm always watching the futures market. Once the futures market opens up, I always take a look at it to see if I see that we have some strength or weakness in the overnight futures session. Right now, we're up about a quarter point on futures. We're up about a quarter point right now on futures. Nothing major. We were down slightly just a few minutes ago, and then we just had a quick little pop. I think it looks like Congress has agreed to $1,200 checks. Is anybody confirmed this? Oh, guys, I got the wolf with me here tonight also. I got the wolf with me here tonight, guys.
Hey, everybody.
All right. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too, guys. I'm hearing $1,200. Was it confirmed, Jay? You know if it's confirmed or not? Because I haven't been looking around.
That's part of it, yeah.
Yeah, no payroll tax cut or no, but we're looking at a $1,200 stimulus check. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So yeah, Pope. So what I do, Pope, on Sundays is I always check the futures market, and then I'll just line that up with chart patterns that I've seen throughout the week. So if I'm looking at a particular stock that has a good long setup or has a good short setup, or if there's a specific stock that showed me relative strength or relative weakness throughout the week, what I'll do is I'll pay attention. I'll say, okay, what is the futures market doing? Futures are weak. I'm going to go and I'm going to take a look back at stocks that showed me they were relatively weak during the week versus stocks that were relatively strong during the week. Stocks that are relatively weak or strong are going to be stocks that are not following the overall markets. Okay. So if you have overall markets, let's say we're up like 300 points on the Dow, but you have a certain stock is, down 2%, down 1.5%, or vice versa. Maybe the market's down 250 points, but we have a stock that's up 3-4% and is just churning higher. That's you want to see divergence between an individual stock and the overall markets, and that's what's going to tell you relative strength, relative weakness. So what I'll do, Pope, on Sundays, when I take a look at the futures market, I'm taking a look directly to see, okay, do I see anything, okay, that is showing me. Now, listen, if the futures market if we're up or down like 0.1% or anything like that, that irrelevant. I'm looking for days when we are up or down 0.5 point or more, okay? And if we're down 0.5 point or more, I'm going to go right to show me the stocks that were relatively weak. The stocks that were weak, even when the overall markets were strong, I'm going to look to short those stocks. Because now, if those stocks were weak when the overall market was strong, now the overall market's weak, I'm going to expect further weakness in those stocks. Unless the coupling on that trade is completely, the correlation on that trade is a complete opposite. Okay, so like unless you're dealing with a correlation trade, okay, that's completely different. But if I'm looking at like general tech, okay, let's use tech as an example because tech was relatively weak for the last couple of days. You saw Microsoft with blowout earnings, excellent quarter from Microsoft, stock sold off. Okay, you saw Intel, bad quarter, stock sold off. We have a massive week of earnings coming up. Okay, we have a massive week of earnings coming up. All right, so this is going to be a very, very important week. The Wolf and I are going to be talking to you guys about where we think we're going to find some opportunity this week and what we think is in store for us with markets as we kind of get into what is going to be the biggest week of earnings. We have some monster earnings coming around this week. I think we've got all the big tech names. I think we have all the big NASDAQ leaders are all in focus here this week. So I'm going to tell you guys what I kind of expect and what I think we're going to get out of those stocks. I do expect us to have a little bit of a choppier session until we start to get some of the real big names report. Specifically Apple. I'm really looking at Apple. I'm really looking at Apple's. I'm really looking at their earnings as kind of going to be a benchmark for us coming into the week here. And I think we're going to be a little choppy until we get Amazon, Google, Apple, all the big boys. We already had Microsoft, but I think Amazon and Apple are going to really lead the way. You're talking about all the trillion-dollar companies at that point will have reported. And I think that's going to kind of set the tone for the rest of the markets. Do not forget that our indexes are market cap weighted indexes. So you already had Microsoft report. Microsoft was weak. Now you're going to have Apple and Amazon. Those are your three biggest market cap companies, over $1 trillion companies. Okay. Now, if those three companies, if Microsoft already had good earnings, but sold off, that showed me profit taking. Now you can have Apple and Amazon. Now, if Apple and Amazon earnings, I believe they're Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Thursday?
Yeah.
I believe they're. Yeah, I believe they're.
Apple, Amazon, and Google after the close on Thursday.
Oh wow, Google too. Wow. All right, so you have Apple, Amazon, and Google all reporting on Thursday after the close. So needless to say, Friday is going to be one hell of a trading day. So I want you guys to really be prepared coming into this week, but still protect yourself going into this week, because you may very well get a lot of choppiness again until you get Apple and Amazon specifically. Apple and Amazon specifically, I think, is going to be what's going to dictate where this market's going to go. Okay. Like I said, you cannot have a market cap weighted index where your $3 trillion companies are all weak. You're not going to see overall markets push higher if those three stocks are heading lower. And I think a lot of people are waiting for those earnings coming out on Thursday. So these are some things that I know that the Wolf and I are paying attention to. I still also have Tesla put options that we're going to be talking about on this live stream. I'm going to recap with you guys my Tesla put option trade. I'm still holding some put options from last week. Okay, I'm still holding some put options from last week. Already locked in 103% gain on those put options. I'm looking for a further, a little bit more downside, and those contracts expire on Friday. So I still have a little bit of time on those contracts. I've already sold the bulk of my position for 103% gain on those puts, and I still am holding some. Okay, and I still plan on holding some for the rest of the week. All right. So a lot to talk about here, because it's going to be a huge earnings week. A lot to talk about. Before we get into kind of what to expect out of all these big tech names, I'm going to open things up like I always do with all these live streams, guys, the blanket Q&A session. I'll take maybe like 5 or 6 different questions. I'll just let you guys fire away, ask some questions, whether for the Wolf or myself, before we kind of dive into. I'm going to recap my Tesla trade with you, why I went after that trade, what was the setup that I saw on that trade, what I expect to have happen now going forward. And then we're going to talk about what the Wolf and I think we can expect and what I think we can look for going into this huge earnings week. So go ahead, guys, fire away, ask some questions. That's how I start off on my live streams. Why are gold and Bitcoin ripping higher together? I just think it's kind of the inflation. I just think it's the stimulus and the inflation play. I just think it's the stimulus and inflation play.
And a weak dollar.
Yeah, and a weak dollar.
Which is the inflation play.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to see gold 2,500. I mean, I'm very, very bullish on gold. Let's see. Do I think Apple will go to 400?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, me neither. I don't. Don't forget, guys, Apple shut down some of their stores. Apple was one of the first companies to shut down their stores early. They reopened. They closed some again. So if Apple by any chance misses, I think you're going to see a big time pullback in tech in general. I think if you have Apple miss, I think just tech in general is going to just get slammed. And then that's when I think you can see a pretty big red day on Friday, or at least a big gap down on Friday, because they're all going to report after the close on Thursday. That'll take the after hours session lower, which will hurt after your future session. Probably get a big gap down. Do we get follow through to the downside? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But I think if Apple misses Thursday night, I think that drags us lower on Friday.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that Wednesday, Facebook is going first. So kind of like what we saw with Microsoft. Microsoft was a big tell for the market. Microsoft basically kind of set it off. I agree, it's going to be really choppy. But if, let's say, Facebook beats, okay? If Facebook beats, the estimates like top and bottom, similar to Microsoft, and it starts selling off, you're gonna start seeing that rotation early on Facebook and Amazon.
Nice, J Code. I'm sorry, Wolf. Go ahead. J Code just got done taking our new tax course. Go ahead, Wolf.
Oh, and also you've got some other things that are going to be important as well. You've got McDonald's on Tuesday. You've got Altria on Tuesday. You've got GM on Wednesday. GE, but nobody cares. Shopify is another big one, guys, and that's pre-market on Wednesday. So you have to really concentrate on all these things that have just shot up during the pandemic. Shopify being one of them. I mean, that run is crazy. And then, look, Tuesday also after the close, AMD, which is one of Mike's favorites.
Yeah, guys, I love AMD. How many of you guys have been following my channel since March when I was pleading with everyone to buy AMD long term? Anybody in here jump on AMD? I was telling you guys AMD is one of my favorite long-term holdings, and that stock has been on fire the past week. On fire. Yes. Martin, iPad, Smiley, Chris, Shaban, Kevin, Susan, Glennie. Yes. Hell yeah. Lady Bird. Woo! Maestro Cam, M Boss. Yes. David. Yes. Ricky. Hell yeah. Yes. Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Oh, that makes it. Ooh, Kathy in since 48. Yes. Right around that 200-day moving average, Kathy. Todd Russell with 100 shares. My man. My man. Wingerod in from 28. Yes. Becky. Johnny B. Fazil Ali. Oh, hell yeah. Toji, Sebastian. Yes. Awesome. Yes. Beautiful. Joseph Nolan already locked in some profit. Great job. Hell yes. Jared, way to go, Jared. Yes, I love it, guys. I love it. I love it. Guys, I love AMD. And I think that something that is quite interesting is when you look at, so the reason why AMD, a lot of people ask me, like I get asked all the time. All the time people ask me about my long-term holdings. I always tell my TTG members, whenever I add to a position in my long-term portfolios, I always tell everybody, okay? In March, I came on and did a bunch of live streams like I'm doing now, and I was telling everybody all the stocks I was buying, okay? I was a buyer of the markets in March and April. March and April, I was just dumping money into the market. The stocks I went after first were Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Disney, Qualcomm, NVIDIA, AMD. Those were the stocks I went after first. I bought all those stocks in March. Okay. I bought all those stocks in like mid-March when the market was just crashing. Okay. Needless to say, you guys all know what those stocks have all done since then. And I came on, I was telling everybody the stocks that I was buying. And during that live stream, had a couple of people ask me, Mike, like aside from obviously Apple, Amazon, like what's your favorite long-term holding? And I had to think about it. And I said, guys, it's AMD. AMD, the reason why AMD is one of my favorite is now listen, it's not one of my favorites because I think it's a better company than like Apple, Amazon, or even NVIDIA. I think NVIDIA is better also than AMD. But the reason why I like AMD is because I still feel like it's in its infancy. I still feel like AMD is in that small early growth stage of the company. When you look at Apple, Amazon, obviously they're gargantuan companies. Okay, $1.6 trillion market caps. AMD is still in the baby stage. I think AMD has the potential to become like NVIDIA. Okay, now NVIDIA is much further along than AMD, but I love AMD's CEO. I love their management team. I think they're fantastic. Their products are amazing. I'm very, very bullish on chip makers. And I think that kind of I almost call them like boutique chip makers, but only for the sense of like to get away from like the big like Intel. Okay, everybody knows Intel. Intel's been around forever. They just actually had horrendous earnings. Stock got crushed. But then you take a look at a stock like Nvidia, which is up like, I don't know, 80% or something like that this year. And you look at a stock like that, which is a chip maker, and I just am so bullish on chip makers in general moving forward, because I think the future, the direction of technology is going to go very, very, very heavily into artificial intelligence and virtual reality. Okay. Virtual reality, as it stands today, or even as it stood 2 or 3 years ago, was really mostly video games, video games, video games. I think that virtual reality and artificial intelligence is going to work its way into our everyday lives. It already is. But I think you're going to be able to walk into a hair salon and be able to see what you'll look like with different hairstyles. I think you'll be able to walk into a department store and see what you'll look like in different clothes and different shirts and dresses and shoes and suits. And I think you're going to be able to see what you'll look like through a virtual reality type of platform. I think all of these things that are our everyday life, it's going to start to be implemented in our everyday life, where it's not just about video games. Okay. And when you look at even what some of the video game companies, what they've done, when you take a look at some of those stocks, like I like Activision. Okay. I like that company as well for long-term investments. Marvel is another good one. Jerome, Marvel's another good one. I like AMD a little bit better. Marvel is another really good one. Okay. But I think that we are very, very, very well headed down that path, especially with artificial intelligence. And like that technology specifically, I think you're going to get all of those chip makers are just going to rally off of those individual pieces. Like if you guys remember, like when lithium went crazy because of all the lithium batteries and all of that. It's like the pieces that make up the whole. And it's like the pieces that are necessary, the hardware necessary for this technology to grow into our everyday lives. I think the opportunity is tremendous when you look at, the market share and the revenue that some of these companies that just focus on chip makers for, smaller industries, and you look at like virtual reality for video games and artificial intelligence, that is such a small little piece of the future of where that technology can go. And you look at some of the revenue and some of the growth that some of those companies have been able to endure, even with that. Now imagine entering that technology and making it part of your everyday life. So I think that the opportunity is massive. And I think that AMD is one of those companies that stands to benefit nicely. And I think they're still in their early stages. So that's why I've said that AMD is one of my favorite long-term holdings, because I think it has the potential to be like in NVIDIA, but it's still earlier on. So that's why it's one of my favorites. It's actually, I'm working my way up to that being one of my largest holdings. Right now, my largest holdings by far are Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft. Those are by far my biggest holdings. Okay. Then I also have companies like Boeing, which I've got a nice sizable position on. I bought Boeing at $106. I told you guys that in March. Again, another live stream. Other companies were Johnson & Johnson that I talked about, Home Depot, Starbucks, Square. There was a couple there. There was a bunch that I was talking about there in March and April. And I hope a lot of you were able to take advantage. I hope a lot of you were able to take advantage of all of those stocks and add some of those stocks to your long-term portfolios. I was pounding the table in March on my live streams. If you guys missed them, go back. Like seriously, go back in March and watch my live streams. The market was melting, falling apart. And I'm begging you all, I kept saying, this is one of the best wealth building opportunities of my lifetime when the market was crashing in March. It was like, oh my God, the world is ending. And I'm like, guys, this is the biggest opportunity of your life. Okay. In March, I was telling you, I'm buying this. And now look at where those stocks are now today. Just look at go back and go, guys, seriously, go back and watch my live streams from March and then look at where those companies were in March and then look at where those companies are now. So I'm very, very glad to hear that a lot of you were taking advantage of that opportunity and were on my live streams. We're fortunate enough to have found the True Trading Group YouTube channel, because the Wolf too. The Wolf was telling you guys some of the stocks that he was buying. Guys, they're up like 200. It's insane, the gains that some of these stocks have had since March. And this is something that I will always do with our True Trading Group members. And so I'm excited about AMD's earnings. The stock has broken out to all-time highs in the last couple of days. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here. You know, I'm excited to see what happens with their earnings. If the earnings are bad and the stock pulls back in, I'm going to take that advantage to be a buyer. Okay. If that stock gets back down to the low 50s or anything like that, I am absolutely a buyer. Absolutely a buyer. If we get back below 60, I'm going to start to buy more. Let's see. Will I ever buy Tesla again? I mean, yeah, I will. Just not here. I'm not buying it at 1,500. I'll buy it at 1,000. I'll buy it at 1,000. I'll buy Tesla at 1,000. I'm not going to buy it at 1,500. 1,400. Well, it's at 1,400 now. Yeah, 1,100 is a good number, Manuel. Anywhere from 1,000 to 1,100, I think, is a good area to buy Tesla for long term. Well, Naomi, that's all right. Naomi's like, I wasn't with you guys in March. Well, you're here now. That's the most important thing. You're here now. All right, let's see. A couple other questions before we kind of get into the meat and potatoes. Nice. Mike Delaney says, I love you. I've profited from Square and AMD. Today, would you buy more? If not, what for a long? What about Intel? Listen, Mike, if you like chip makers, I like AMD and NVIDIA better than I do like Intel. Would I buy more AMD? Yes. Square, I think Square is a little overheated. I think just a lot of those tech names are a little too expensive for my liking. I do like Square long term. I just think it's a little expensive now. So right now, I'm not a buyer. Right now, I'm not a buyer of Square.
I called that at 40.
Yeah, guys. Well, back in March, when Wolf and I were telling you guys what we were buying, Wolf was telling you guys that he was buying Square in the 40s. I don't even know where the stock is now.
Like 120.
Yeah, 100.
And then, like, Power REIT with PW was $8. It's 26 now. That's
nuts.
Yeah, I think like 3 of them are over 100%. Because I got Boeing also, but I got it at 90. But I'm out. But yeah, that really was, and people really should go back, because you get a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks, on YouTube and where else. Because I did that show, and then the very next day I did another podcast with somebody else. And I gave the list right back out. This is what I'm buying. Everything. There isn't anything that I bought that isn't up a minimum of 50%.
Yeah. It's crazy, guys. It really is. Let's see. A couple of questions. A couple of people are banging out some questions here. Gary Marshall says, what's the number one thing that helped make you successful? God, that without a question, Gary, the number one thing that helped make me successful is the mentorship and the education that I received at my very first job at a college, which was a hedge fund in New York City with about $500 million under management. I had a mentor at the hedge fund that I worked at, and he really took me under his wing, answered all of my questions, helped me get my emotions under control, helped me see my potential. And it really, guys, honestly, if it wasn't for that man, I would not be half the trader that I am today. And if it wasn't for the education that I received working at that hedge fund, I would not be half the trader that I am today. There's just no questions about it. Everything that I implement in my trading today, everything that I implement in my long-term investment analysis, everything I implement in my day trading, everything I implement in my swing trading, everything I implement in my options trading, every single thing that I implement in my trading today, guys, stems from the education and the mentorship that I received working on Wall Street professionally right out of college. I was in my early 20s. I became the youngest junior portfolio manager at the fund, and I received a Trader of the Year award in 2008. This is not something that I sit here and I'm like, oh, I figured all this out on my own. I was taught. I was taught. Okay. I was Gary for the first 3 months of my employment at the hedge fund. I sat in a classroom style setting, and every week different traders and analysts from the fund came in and they would cover different topics with us. And before I was able to trade a dollar of the fund's money, I had to pass this program. The class initially started with like 26 or 27 students or hirees. But then after that class, they cut it down to just like handfuls of people, and the people that performed the best during this educational program went on to become floor traders for the hedge fund, and were able to step onto the trading floor and be at their trade station and manage X amount of dollars depending on the risk tolerance that your senior portfolio manager bestowed upon you, and the responsibility and asset allocation that you were assigned to, based on what the fund's objective was for that week, that month, that quarter, whatever it was, whatever the positioning was that we were getting into. That is what is single-handedly responsible for the success that I enjoy today. And no, guys, come on with the keyboard story. I tell you guys always ask me to tell the keyboard story, man. It's like almost every live stream. I feel like I tell the keyboard story. I do stay in touch. I'm in touch with like 2 of my coworkers back from my hedge fund days. I'm in touch with like 2 of them. I'm in touch with about 2 of them. Ruben, some of you guys are the best. You guys are the best. Oh, good, guys. Good. A lot of you finished okay, awesome. What are my main parameters? What are my main parameters for my watch list? Okay, yeah, I've covered this a bunch of times too. I'll go over this, guys, here pretty quickly, and I'll take like one more question before we get into kind of the nitty gritty. Parameters for my watch list, guys, pretty much very, very simple, very basic parameters to be on my watch list. Those basic parameters are leading gapper, whether up or down. Okay, above average volume on that gap. If it's not trading above average volume on the gap, I don't really care. So a leading gapper, up or down, above average volume on that gap, fundamental catalyst for the gap. Then set up on the daily chart. Okay, in that order. Okay, so it's leading gapper, up or down, great, check. Above average volume, check. Fundamental catalyst that warrants the gap up or down, great, check. Then daily chart setup. Okay, like are we gapping above a major resistance level, a resistance level that may be held in place for the last 2 years? Are we gapping above it? Has the 50-day moving average been an area of support for the last 6 months, and now all of a sudden we're gapping beneath it? Like, what does the daily chart setup look like? And that's the final piece of criteria that I use to kind of develop my watch list. And let's say if I have 8 or 10 stocks on my watch list, if I have 8 or 10 stocks on my watch list, I'll narrow it down to like 3 that I like the best, that I like the most out of based on the setup on the daily chart. And the ones I like the most, those are my top 3. I will focus on those top 3 once the bell rings, and I will only focus on those top 3 once the bell rings. Now, after about 15 minutes or so, if neither one of those stocks is doing what I think it's going to do, then I'll shift my attention over to the next batch of 5, 6, or 7 stocks, and I'll see if they're following a game plan that I was initially expecting. So once I develop the watch list, then I come up with a game plan, which is what I think these stocks are going to do. And then that way, when the bell rings, if the stocks end up doing what I think they're going to do, I jump on them and I act. Okay. If those stocks don't do what I thought they were going to do, then I'll move on. I'll look at another batch of stocks. Mike, what's the max float size you will accept to trade? There is no max float size, Big Bala. You're talking about traders that are like momentum scalpers that only trade small caps. I trade small caps, mid caps, large caps, options, ETFs, you name it, I trade it. I don't trade crypto and I don't trade Forex. Those are the only two things I don't trade, crypto and Forex. But so traders that say like, oh, it's got a 10 million share float, that's too big, I can't trade that. That's nonsense. Because I'll go and I'll trade Boeing, I'll trade Roku, I'll trade Royal Caribbean, I'll trade American Airlines. Like, to say that, oh, that stock's got too big of a float. I mean, the size of a float is not going to make me say I'm not going to trade this stock just because it has a large float. If all the other criteria, if there's a fundamental catalyst, if the chart pattern looks good, I'm going to trade it. Okay, you're talking about there's like momentum scalpers, and these are traders that only trade small caps that like to buy and sell stocks within seconds to minutes. They're in and they're out within 10 seconds. Maybe they're in for a minute. That's someone that's looking to take advantage of a momentum scalp in a small cap. Those traders won't trade stocks that have big floats because they don't get those manipulated moves like that. You don't get like those quick pops and drops. It's more of a sustained move. If there's a larger float, it takes more of a real market to move the stock rather than a chat room with a couple thousand traders. If a stock only has a million share float, if one chat room with a couple thousand traders will just move that stock on their own. Okay, so that's why those traders won't look for stocks that have bigger floats because they can't move them. Okay, if you have a stock that only has 2 million shares in the float and it's at $2 and you have a room with a couple thousand traders in it, they can move that stock. But if you have a stock that has 100 million shares in it, that room can't move that stock. So that's why you'll see some of those traders will say like, oh, well, this is too big of a float, I'm not going to trade this. Nonsense. Okay, nonsense, because you'll be missing opportunities in a lot of other mid cap and large cap names. So that's why I don't really have like a limit to, oh, no, that's too big of a float size, I'm not going to trade that. That's just not something that I use to determine whether I'm going to go after a stock or not. Okay. That's just not a criteria that I consider. Now, the lower the size of the float, the more volatile that stock will be. So it's important to know the size of the float so you have an idea of the volatility of the stock that you're about to trade. Now, is this a stock that can flush $2 on you in a split second? If so, you better know that so you can adjust your position size to account for that extra risk. You don't want to go into this thing with your full size position thinking you're risking 25 cents a share. Really, the stock flushes on you and you end up losing $1 a share. And that's how traders get killed. That's how traders get crushed because they have too much size for the volatility of the stock that they're trading. So not to say, Big Bob, that you should ignore the size of the float. You should know the size of the float so you can dictate how volatile that stock is going to be, because that can help you adjust and figure out what your risk is on a trade. But it's not a criteria that I'm going to say, oh, that's too big of a float, I'm not going to trade it. All right. FOMO extraordinaire says, I found scalping success is higher for me than other options. Is this a patience thing on my part? No, FOMO, listen, I mean, I'm not a scalper. I'm not saying that scalping is terrible. I mean, you can still make money scalping. It's just not a strategy or style that I implement. Like, I'm not a scalper. My trades last several minutes to several hours long for my day trades. My swing trades, obviously, several days. It's just not a style that works for me. I'm not saying if scalping works for you, then by all means keep scalping. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just a completely different style. Like scalping and being a traditional day trader, completely different styles, completely different setups, completely different catalysts, completely different triggers, completely different risk management, completely different type of style of trading. Okay. So you have to understand that. You just have to understand that. And I'm not a scalper, but if scalping works for you, FOMO extraordinaire, by all means, keep on doing it. Whatever, don't try to fix what's not broken. Let's see. Let's see. Why don't I trade Forex? And no, guys, I'm not hating on anybody. Like I said, I'm just saying I'm not a scalper. I'm just saying I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying I'm not a scalper. So if scalping works for you, by all means, keep doing it. It's just not a, it's just not a trade that it's just not a style that works for me. Let's see. Jeffrey Wu, do you only buy naked options? No, I mean you can do covered calls, and I mean that's just more of an advanced type of strategy, and it's also something that's good if you guys want to do like long-term investing and you don't mind buying the stock. Nathan, go Yankees! Yeah, baby, you know it. You know it. Noble Eagle, good question. Do you ever use pivot points? So, Noble Eagle, I do use pivot points, but they might not be the pivot points you're referring to. If you're talking about pivot points that are in a trade software where the trading software sets the pivot points for you, I don't use pivot points that way, Noble. I have my own pivot points that I dictate based on charting. So, I'll look at technical analysis and I use basically like for me, Noble, like pivot points for me are like minor support and resistance levels, not necessarily major levels, but maybe minor levels are little pivot points for me. So like a pivot high, a pivot low. I identify my own pivot points when I'm going through my technical analysis, but I don't use a pivot point indicator. I know there are some softwares where you can actually plot pivot points. Okay. But I do use pivot points, but I dictate and identify the pivot points on my own. Do I think Tesla's going to hit 1100 soon? I hope so because I have put options. I'm holding put options, so I hope it goes to 1100. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You know, I think it could. I think it could. I don't think it's going to get there like right away. I don't expect it to get there in a couple days. But I think it's very, very, very possible the stock could pull back to 1100 or somewhere in that region. I do think it's very possible. Nice. Balance Investing says I made $11,000 my first week in TTG. Hell yeah. Congrats, my man. Congrats. Congrats. Balance Investing. Congrats. Antoine Harper, what do you think about silver price? Silver is rocking because it's not only the precious metal play, like gold, precious metal, right? Silver, gold, they usually have been known to trade in tandem. It's the precious metal play. But silver also has some of the industrial play behind it also. And I think that's why you just saw this massive move in silver this week. I think you had a little bit of both kind of coming into play there. I do think silver. I'm very bullish on silver. I'm very bullish on gold going into the next year. Hector Zupo says, when you join TTG, do you have to complete the courses before being able to trade or be part of the live daily trade group? No, you do not need to complete it. Hector, I recommend it. Okay, guys. So real quickly, Hector, that's a great question. Let me say this. How many of you are on this live stream right now that are brand new, that are not TTG members, and this is your very first time joining a True Trading Group YouTube video? Just comment in chat. I want to know how many of you are new. Okay, Toji, John, Hector, DJ, Joe, Michael, Chuck. Rudranch, Odo, Kevin, the Tower. Okay. Roger, Billy. All right. Jaham. All right, good. Awesome. Herman, Steve, or Steven. Second time for Sidali. Okay. James. All right, guys. Awesome. Pop Lock. Okay, good. Good. All right, guys. Awesome. Okay, perfect. Oh, Mansoor, welcome to the family. Mansoor says, I just became a member last night. Mansoor, welcome, my man. My man, welcome, 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 welcome. Julio Jaramillo, fairly new. Beautiful. No, Chris, Palooza's next weekend. I'll talk about that too, Chris. Traderpalooza's next weekend. Okay, Traderpalooza's next weekend. Let me just get back to Hector's question. Hector was asking me, guys, do you need to complete the courses when you become a member of TTG in order to trade with us live? No, you don't need to complete the courses, but here's what I recommend. Okay, Hector, and for all of you that are not TTG members that are considering joining the TTG fam, here is my advice to each and every single one of you. When you sign up and you join the TTG family, first and foremost, I'm going to separate you traders into two different batches of traders. Not yet profitable, already consistently profitable. If you are not yet consistently profitable, start with the beginner foundation stock trading courses. If you are already consistently profitable and you're an experienced trader, you can go right to the advanced. Okay. And definitely the trader psychology. A lot of times what I have seen with a lot of members on True Trading Group that are already experienced traders, that are already consistently profitable, they've been consistently profitable for a long time, and they're just looking to take their trading to the next level. A lot of times, guys, when you're already consistently profitable and you're an experienced trader, it's not usually some newfound technical analysis aspect that takes your trading to the next level. Usually, it's a mental hurdle, or it's a newfound level of discipline. It's something psychological that takes an already consistently profitable trader to the next level. It's usually a mental issue. Okay, so if you're already advanced, you can go right to the trader psychology courses. But getting back to what I was saying, I recommend all new traders, if you are not yet already profitable, start with the beginner and foundation stock trading courses, then go to the advanced stock trading courses, then go to the trader psychology part 1, then go to trader psychology part 2, then go to beginner options, and then don't even worry about advanced options until you are already a consistently profitable trader. Okay, that is my advice to you in the order of which you should take the courses that are available for you on the website. And while you are going through the courses, take advantage of our trade simulator. We have a free trade simulator that is included with your membership that has real-time data. Gives you real-time level 1, gives you real-time level 2. You can trade stocks and options on the simulator. So go through the courses. You can still participate in chat. Okay? Participate in chat. You can follow along with what it is that I'm trading, what the Wolf is trading, and implement what you are learning in the courses, but do so on the simulator. Okay? Do so on the simulator. Practice with fake money while you hone your skills, and you're gonna make mistakes in the beginning. You're going to make mistakes. Practice with fake money to hone your skills, get comfortable with the material. The more comfortable you are, the better off it's going to be. And the more you can practice on that simulator, the better it's going to be for you. Okay? What I will say to you, all of you that just commented that you're a new trader, or you're new to the True Trading Group YouTube channel, guys, take advantage. Okay? Take advantage of the offer that we have right now, because you only have 5 days left. You have 5 days left to take advantage of the 36% off discount sale. Our prices are going up in August. Okay? Our prices are going up in August. I said to you in June that our prices are going up in July. The prices went up like $100 a year. Our prices are going up again in August. I'm telling you guys all this right now. Okay. If you use the coupon code, if you guys want to join the TTG family and you use the coupon code TTG720, that's going to get you a 36% discount on a 1-year all-inclusive membership that will get you all of the courses I just talked about included for free. It gets you the trade simulator that I just talked to you about. It gets you our stock screener. It gets you our stock profile section, our analyst report section, our mobile app. So you can download our mobile app on your iPhone or on your Android and follow along with what it is that we're doing in chat with the screen share. Guys, because every day in the TTG chat room, I share my screen. I'm on the microphone talking to you live. You see my screen. You see exactly what I'm doing. I'm on the mic telling you what I'm doing. Saying, guys, I'm going to be a buy. This stock pulls back into 5. I'm a buyer in front of 5. Guys, my first take profit target is 550. My second is $6. I'm selling here. I've got an order out at 595. I tell you guys exactly what I'm doing throughout the course of the trading day. Okay, that's the chat room. Okay, so you get a year of the chat room, a year of everything else that I just mentioned to you, and also access to our Traderpalooza events. Next week, Saturday, August 1st, is our next Traderpalooza virtual trading workshop. What Traderpalooza is. Now, TTG members, you guys know all about Traderpalooza because honestly, it's friggin' awesome. And everybody loves Traderpalooza. Okay. Traderpalooza is a virtual trading workshop. Now, this year in May or in April, I was going to do a in-person meetup in Miami. We were going to do like a 3-day meetup in Miami. We were going to do like a big seminar. I had a room set, like one of those seminar rooms at the University of Miami. We were all going to trade together on a Friday. Then over the weekend, we were going to have some fun, go golfing. We're all going to go out to dinner. We're going to, have some fun, do some jet skiing type of stuff. But then we were also going to get down into a classroom style setting and we're going to go over a bunch of different classes. All the moderators are going to be there. Members are going to be able to have one-on-one sessions in person with all the moderators. We weren't able to do that because of coronavirus. So we started Traderpalooza. Traderpalooza is a virtual trading workshop where for 12 hours, the entire day, myself, the Wolf, all the other TTG moderators, that's Jason Simmons, Jay Downing, Alex Campbell, and Chris Toner, and the Wolf and myself. Those are your TTG moderators. All of us go through and cover different topics for 1 hour. It is a 1-hour workshop, okay, for the whole day. It's 12 different workshops. You get 1 hour of each of us covering different topics. And now you as a member can log in and out and in and out based on the topic of the workshop that you want to attend. Okay, so you get an itinerary with the schedule. Let's say you don't want to be there for the whole day. You don't care about 5 of the workshops. Okay, you can sign out and log back in when the topic comes up that you want to be a part of. The entire session is recorded. It's available on the website for members only. Okay, our next event is August 1st, Saturday. That is this Saturday coming up is our next Traderpalooza event. You guys are not going to want to miss that event. Our last one was in June. It was an absolute hit. TTG members, any TTG members that are on the live stream right now, comment in chat. Tell everybody how much you guys love the Traderpalooza events because our next one is August 1st. You guys sign up tonight with coupon code TTG720. Not only do you get access to the Traderpalooza event, not only do you get a 36% discount on a membership, but you also get a guaranteed seat to my next private study mentor group session, which is going to be the following week. Okay. So the following week, I'm doing a private study mentor group session with a small group of traders. I keep these sessions very small because I like the one-on-one interaction. Anyone that signs up by midnight tonight will get a guaranteed spot in that trading mentor session. My last one was on Wednesday. Okay. I just did a trading mentor study group on Wednesday. Okay. We had a handful of people in there. Okay. And my next one's going to be the following week. So we've got Traderpalooza on Saturday. And then that Wednesday is my next study group session. You get a guaranteed spot in that study group session included for free with the coupon code TTG720 for anybody that signs up by midnight tonight. Okay. So guys, again, to all of you that are considering joining the TTG family, You guys want access to all of my courses. The courses are the same content, the same information I learned working at a hedge fund. Earlier on this live stream, I told you guys that before I was able to trade $1 of the fund's money, I had to go through a 3-month educational program. The courses are a simplified version of those 3 months. And for less than a cup of coffee a day, okay, it's a 1-year membership is usually $1,836 for the year. With that coupon code, it comes out to $1,165. That's a 36% discount. It's a cup of coffee a day. That's what it comes out to. For a cup of coffee a day, that's what you guys are getting access to. The same information I had working at a hedge fund, as well as the courses, the simulator, the screener, the mobile app, the Traderpalooza events, and a guaranteed seat in my next private study mentor group session. And prices are going up in August. This current price, $1,165. You have 5 days left to get that price, and it will never be $1,165 again. Prices are going up in August. I'm telling you guys this right now. Prices are going up in August. Okay. Storybook of Madison. Yes. Storybook of Madison says, is there any promotion on the lifetime membership? The lifetime membership right now carries a 60% discount. You don't need a coupon code. The coupon code is only for the year membership. The lifetime membership is already the 60% discount. That price is also going up in August. Okay. If you guys sign up at the $1,165, you are grandfathered in at that price. So next year, when your subscription is up for renewal, if our prices are $1,450, you are grandfathered in at $1,165. Okay. You will pay what you pay today for as long as you are a TTG member. The price does not go up on you. Okay. So I'm telling you guys this right now. Our prices are going up in August. Take advantage of the coupon code TTG720, get the 36% discount, join us for the Traderpalooza virtual trading workshop, and get a guaranteed seat in my next private study group mentor session next Wednesday if you sign up by midnight tonight. Okay? I do not want to get a message on August 1st because I already know this will happen because this happened on July 1st. In June, I told you guys all the prices were going up in July. On July 1st, I had a slew of messages on Twitter and on YouTube asking me about the discount. And I'm like, they're like, Mike, what about that coupon code? The coupon, it was TTG620 was a coupon code. And everyone's like, oh, the coupon code's not working. What's going on? Can I still get the discount? I'm like, what? I just told you guys the prices were going up. So I already know I'm going to get messages on August 1st. Prices are going up, guys, August 1st. Okay. Use the coupon code TTG720 before prices go up on August 1st. Okay. Also, guys, follow me on Twitter at MikeEdward_TTG. At MikeEdward_TTG. Also, give the Wolf a follow. He's at Wolf of Weed Street. Street is spelled ST. Okay. So give us both a follow. Now, let's talk about what we expect markets to do this week, guys. As the futures are still pushing a little higher. We're up about 3.5. Okay. We're up almost 0.4%. We're up almost 0.4%. You know, what I think about, let me pull up my software. Give me 1 second, gang. I want to talk about some levels with you. And unfortunately, I don't have my streaming software wasn't working, so I can't pull the levels up with you guys here. So let's talk about the overall markets first. Then I'm going to talk to you guys about Tesla because I still have Tesla puts. Okay. I still have Tesla puts. I've got the 1500 strike, July 31st expiration put options. I bought them at $59 a contract. I sold some at $71 a contract. I sold the bulk of my position at $120 a contract. And I still have about 20% of that position. Looking to see if we can get down to 1300. 1300 on Tesla is my final take profit target. Okay, 1300 is my final take profit target on that Tesla put option trade. We're going to see if we can get that down towards that 1300 area. So that's my game plan with Tesla. But first, let's talk about the SPY. Let's talk about some levels. Okay. 319 on the SPY. Now, guys, follow along with me on your own charting software, or if you guys want to just take notes of these levels. Usually I share my screen, I show you guys my charts, but my streaming software was not working. I don't know what the hell happened. I could not get my screen to so that's why you guys have to just stare at my ugly face for a little while I go over my charting software with you. But if you want to write these, take notes, or if you want to follow along on your own charting software, be my guest. Okay. Our major support level right now on the SPY is 319. 319 is the level that we all really need to start to focus on. Okay. And as I pan out, guess what level held on the futures? 319. Okay. 319 is the area. 3190. 3190 is a support level that just held in the overnight future session. When the futures market opened and began trading, we immediately sold off. We sold off right down into that 319 area, or on the futures, excuse me. The futures, it's 3190. Okay. We sold right down into 3190. Then right off that 3190 support level, bang, the futures back to 3215. We're at 3215 right now on the futures. So we had a real nice bounce off that 3190 area. That's your support level. On the SPY, that level comes out to 319. 319 was support on Friday. All day support on Friday. We got down there and tested that level 3 separate distinct times on Friday. All 3 times held. Right off the opening bell, we had the gap down. We sold off aggressively. 319 held. We bounced back. Midday during lunch, we sold off back down to 319. Bounce off 319 held. Right before the closing bell, about 20, 30 minutes to go, another sell-off down to 319, held, bounce off that area again. Then you have the futures market opens up, sells off down to 319, bounces off that 319 again. We're back to 32.15. Okay, that's your level. If you guys look back left on the chart and you look to July 16th, you'll see July 16th, major support at that 319 level on the SPY. Then look at July 15th, major support on the SPY. July 15th, low of the day, July 15th, low of the day, July 16th, low of the day, July 24th. Okay, this is a key level of support for the SPY. If this level gets broken, if this level gets violated, I can easily see markets drifting back down to 316. If we have a bad start to the week with regards to earnings, watch for 319 to break. If 319 breaks, it has held for over 2 weeks. If it breaks this week because of a bad start to the week with earnings, or maybe we just drift our way below 319 and we're below 319 on Thursday when we have Apple, Amazon, and Google all set to report, watch Facebook Wednesday. The reason why I want you to watch Facebook Wednesday, the best case scenario for my game plan, what I'm going to do the rest of the week is going to be dictated on what happens with Facebook on Wednesday. Let me explain to you why. Microsoft reported earnings last week. Microsoft earnings were fantastic. Beautiful quarter. Beautiful quarter. Okay? Microsoft reported a beautiful quarter and the stock sold off. Profit taking. What I hope I see is a good quarter from Facebook. And I want to see Facebook sell off too. Because if I get a good quarter from Microsoft and they sold off, profit taking. NASDAQ has been a laggard the last week, week and a half. Okay? NASDAQ's actually been a little bit of a laggard lately. And if we got Microsoft good earnings, they sell off. If you get Facebook good earnings on Wednesday, they sell off. I think there's no question of a doubt that we break below 319 on the SPY and we trade lower. Because if Microsoft and Facebook both report good earnings, they both sell off, the chances then of Apple, Amazon, Google selling off increases. Aside from a bad quarter, if Apple, Amazon, Google, if they have bad quarters, okay, if they have a bad earnings report, the stocks are going to go down. So that's going to automatically work in your favor. So if you want to talk about a 50-50 shot, right? 50% good quarter, 50% bad quarter, right? We don't know. That's a complete coin flip. Nobody here has inside information. We don't know. So you got a 50-50 shot. So 50% shot, bad quarter, stock goes down. But then this other 50% of good quarter, there's still a high percentage probability the stock goes down even with a good quarter because of profit taking. Because if we saw that in Microsoft already with a phenomenal quarter, the stock sold off. And then if you get another good report from Facebook on Wednesday and that stock sells off, that's going to tell me again, another mammoth NASDAQ leader selling off on a good earnings report. That's going to put me in a position where I'm going to position myself for continued downside Thursday and Friday. And if we are below 319, when that happens, I think we have a clear runway for a solid pullback in the markets Thursday to Friday. And I will position myself in put options to play that action. That is my game plan. That is what I am watching. That's what I'm paying attention to. That's what I want to see. If that's what I see, I told you that's how I'm positioning myself. I'm also already in Tesla put options. Now, my Tesla put options, I got 1,500 strike puts. They expire on Friday. Okay, they expire on Friday. Now, there's a very good possibility that I get out of those Tesla puts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just because of sheer time decay. And if Tesla does sell off down to 1,300 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to take that trade off the table. That will be a monster of a win if we get to 1,300. I've got $200 of intrinsic value. I'll probably have another $30, $40 a contract of extrinsic value. I'll be looking at, what is that? A 400% gain. If Tesla gets down to 1,300 this week, I'll be looking at about a 400% gain. Okay, so that's why I'm saying if Tesla does give me that move, I'm out. Now, let's talk about where I'm going to stop out, though, if I'm wrong. If Tesla does not go to 1,300, where's my stop loss on the rest of the position? Again, remember, I've already taken the bulk of my position off the table at $120 a contract. I bought those contracts at $59 a contract. Okay, now there's no way that I can lose on this trade. Okay, even though those contracts go to zero, I'm still up on this trade from the profits I've already taken off. But of course, I'm not going to let these contracts go to zero. But let's talk about levels. Okay, levels on Tesla now. Again, guys, write these levels down if you don't have a charting software in front of you, so you can go back and watch them later. Remember, I talked about that 319 level on the SPY. Now let's talk about Tesla. Okay, now Tesla is not going to be as clear cut of a level as 319 was on the SPY because Tesla is a lot more volatile. Okay, Tesla is not going to really give you one specific price point. You're going to have more of a range because Tesla is a very, very volatile stock. Okay, you're not going to get one solid level like you had on the SPY at 319. Tesla is going to kind of be a range. Okay, and when we look at a range on Tesla, what I'm looking at is the area of support that held the 14th, the 15th, the 16th. Okay, so Tesla consolidated the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th on those 4 days was the day we had the exhaustion gap on Tesla. If you guys follow my channel, you'll know that 2 weeks ago, I bought Tesla put options the day that it gapped up and ran to 1,800. I bought Tesla put options for an exhaustion gap breakdown. We broke down. I held to the following day, 220% gain. Go back and watch that recap video. I made a video when I entered that trade and then made a video recapping that trade. But when we initially had that exhaustion gap breakdown, we consolidated for 4 consecutive trading days. And that base held as a solid area of support for Tesla. On Friday, we gapped below that base support level. Now, that support level that I'm looking at is right around 1460, 1465. Okay, 1460, 1465. That's the area that I'm looking for to be resistance on Tesla. Okay, if Tesla gets above that area Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I will exit the last piece of my put option position. Again, I've got about 20% of my position left to see if I get further downside towards 1,300, which is my final take profit target area. Again, if we get down to that 1,300 area, we'll be looking at about a 400% gain. Okay, now that percentage is going to be different if it happens on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because of time value and time decay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Tesla. But that's the rest, my game plan on the rest of that position. So That's what I'm thinking about. Okay. That's what I'm going to be focusing on. That's a position I still have open. And that's what I'm looking for in the overall markets. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what I just talked about regarding Tesla specifically and or my game plan in the overall markets with tech and that 319 level on the SPY? Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? How did I determine my Tesla put strike price? Because there's support around that 14. There was support around that 1465 area. Okay, Brad Wellman was asking, how did I determine my strike price? So, guys, when I determine my strike price, I typically like to trade options that are just slightly out of the money. And based on the move I think the stock is going to make, I like when my options go from out of the money to into the money. Those are the options that I like to trade. So when I bought those put options on Tesla, Tesla was trading at around 1550. Okay. And I thought Tesla was going to go down to 1465, which is that prior base support level from July 14th, 15th, and 16th. Okay. So by buying the 1500 strike, when Tesla was at 1550, it was more like 1530, 1535 when I bought the contracts. Okay. And I thought the stock's going to go down to 1465. That puts my 1500 strike kind of right in the middle of my expected move, which allows me to go from out of the money to into the money. Okay. So that's how, and I also was looking at volume. I always like to look for the option contract that has the best volume in conjunction with the expected move that I think the stock is going to make. Okay. And that's how I was able to determine. That's how I went after the 1500 strike. So I hope that helps answers your question. Let's see. Okay. So does anybody else have any other questions? Let me see. Any other questions about these trades? Is that not a, Dave says, Mike, is that not a bear flag on the SPY right now? Yeah, I mean, you could say that. You could say that, Dave. You definitely could say that, Dave. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that analysis, Dave. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying on the bear flag. It's also like a descending triangle. Bear flag, descending triangle, however you want to look at it, but same concept. But yeah, I see what you're seeing on the charts, and I'm okay with that. I like that analysis. Dave. That's why that 319 level is so important. Okay. Bradley Cox says, well, then do we go long above 1465? I'm not going to go long above 1465, guys. Please always remember this. Always remember this, guys. Remember this saying. Just because a stock is not a good short does not make it a good long. And just because a stock is not a good long does not make it a good short. Okay? Please always remember that saying. Just because a stock is not a good short does not mean it's a good long. And if Tesla gets back above 1465, I'm going to exit my puts, but I am not going to go long. I don't like this setup for a long trade. It'll just mean it's not a good short. Now, does Tesla continue to push higher? I don't know. Will it push higher? I'm not really sure. Okay. But it's not a setup to where if it does not give me the breakdown, I'm not just going to turn around, flip, and go long. Okay. I'm not going to turn around, flip, and go long. So always remember that saying. Just because a stock is not a good short does not make it a good long. And that works both ways. Just because a stock's not a good long does not all of a sudden make it a good short. That's why you guys will never, ever see me, and I never teach this to any of my members, to flip-flop. What I mean by flip-flop is I never flip-flop. What I mean by that is, let's say I'm long a stock at $10. My stop loss is $9.50. And it gets to $9.50 and I stop out of my position. I'm going to stop out of my long and I'm going to go short. I never, ever do that. And I never teach our members to do that because you have to have the trust in your analysis that you're not that wrong. That a setup that you thought was a grade A long setup, you were so wrong that it was actually a grade A short setup. I don't like ever doing that. Okay. If you get stopped out, I just get stopped out and I move on. I don't just flip short because I didn't make a short analysis. I made a long analysis. I was long going into that trade. My analysis said long. I'm going to not just think that my analysis was so off that it's actually a great short. I'm going to flip. I don't ever do that because let me tell you this. If you're long and you get stopped out of a trade, right? And then it goes higher without you, you're super pissed, right? You buy a stock at 10, your stop loss is 950. It goes to 940, stops you out, and then it rips at $12. You're pissed. You're annoyed. It messes with your head. You get unfocused. Your emotions start to come up. Do you have any idea what you're going to feel like if you get long a stock at 10, you stop out at 950, you go short at 942, and then the stock stops you out going back up the other way, and you were initially right the whole time that it was a good long, and you just turned one losing trade into two losing trades for no reason at all. If that happens to you, seriously, shut off your computer, close down everything, get up and walk away because you are done. At that point, you will be so screwed up in the head that nothing good's going to happen the rest of the day except you are going to dig yourself a deeper and deeper hole because you're going to be so furious what just happened to you. That's why it's not worth it. The breakdown and the loss of mental capital from doing that is not worth it. The loss in mental capital is not worth it. That's why I don't ever flip-flop. So again, this goes back to reiterate the point I just made. Just because a stock is not a good long does not make it a good short, and vice versa. Just because a stock is not a good short does not make it a good long. Okay? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Awesome. Now, quickly, Wolf, did you want to talk a little bit about kind of what I was talking about tech and earnings? Was there anything you wanted to add to that conversation before I kind of move on to the next topic? Wait, Wolf, hold on one second. Guys, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Well, TG members, you guys probably know this. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Wolf is riding a ridiculous streak. So whatever he's about to say to you guys, listen, because he's had like 2 losing trades in the last 3 weeks. So I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, Wolf, to keep that going. Okay, no pressure, but guys, the Wolf has been on fire lately with some of his option calls. So I want him to kind of jump in and share some insight on what he thinks about the markets going into the biggest and most important earnings week of the season.
Yeah, and let me caveat those 2 losing trades. I was playing with profit on both of them. I lost one of those losing trades. I dropped a 2-cent loss, and it ended up going 200% the next day. And then the other one was Neo, which ended up going 110% the next day. So it is what it is. But look, if you guys were listening to me last Sunday when I jumped in, Mike and I were talking about the market, and I was talking about how the next 2 weeks are going to be really, really important. And I had talked about Microsoft and how that was just kind of going to be the canary in the coal mine, so to speak, for everything. And then Monday, I got short QQQ, which turned out to be a really good one. But, look, it's like this. And I take a different stance than Mike. Not that we don't agree, but, we agree for for different reasons is the point that I'm trying to make. You know, the way that I trade is I'm trying to look at the whole market in 3D. And again, I'm not saying that Mike doesn't. You know, you guys understand. So I'm looking at every single stock, every single sector as just one piece on the chessboard. And on any given day, I'm just trying to protect my king or queen. You have to start looking at this as, in terms of cause and effect in this market. Okay, Microsoft was a big clue. QQQ on Monday making that $5 move on the lowest volume since February 2019 was a warning. And it was kind of a don't believe the hype. You know, when I bought that option, I bought it 2 weeks out because I was like, look, I might not be right on the timing. So, you know, I want to give myself a little time just in case. I sold it early. It went up like a lot, but neither here nor there. The strategy that's been working for me, guys, is just being really patient. You know, sitting up. You know, like sometimes I'm sitting on the bid all day. You know, I'll get filled on a position at like 345. You know, letting the trade just kind of come to me. And then being meticulous about understanding the channel that I'm trading and then taking that profit and rolling that profit into the next day in terms of insurance. That's why I haven't been losing, because I'm not putting myself in a situation to lose. You know, you can start a week and have early success. The best thing that you could do is treat that success and that money that you make early, if you do, as a newborn baby. It's a newborn profit baby. All right? And your only job is to feed that little bastard and keep it alive. And that's all you do. And you just don't put it, you know, it's like you got to wash the baby, you put it in the bathtub. You don't leave the bathtub and go answer your phone. No, that's how you kill the baby. You don't want to do that. You got to protect the profit. You got to, you know, like, I'm going after pretty low volatility option trades, right? And I'm waiting for the higher volatility trades to come to me. So, like, you know, I'm trading U.S. Steel. I'm trading companies in the wheat space. I'm trading IWM. And I'm just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then when I see a setup that I like Roku, I jump on it. But even when I'm jumping on it, I'm not jumping on it without respecting the profit that I have and the understanding that, you know, look, any day the party could be over, especially if I'm in calls. There are a lot of things that are happening. And guys, if you've been listening to the streams, what have I been saying? I'm saying, you know, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I said, look, the next 45 days is going to dictate the next 6 months in the market. We're coming up to that point where all of these triggers are going to start. You know, part of the stimulus tonight was to give renters more time from getting evicted. That can't last forever because, you know, there's somebody that owns that property that's not collecting money. And remember, the government is always going to protect the money. So that's one thing. Yeah, a $1,200 stimulus check, whoop-de-doo. These forbearance for mortgages, that's coming too. End of August. September, forbearance for student loans. Guys, 40 million people. 40 million people with student loans. You know, if this was any other time, that could have been a huge trigger in the market. We've got over 1.4 trillion in debt in the student loan area. And that's just student loans. And you're talking about auto debt. You've got 30% of people not making mortgage payments. Commercial real estate in all these urban areas is completely screwed. And then you also have to look at it like this. You know, let's break down some of that stuff. You know, people that are in the buildings, people that do the maintenance, people that fix the AC, people that, you know, wax the floors at night. Guess what? Those jobs aren't coming back. So everybody is loving that, oh, the SPY's over 300. Guys, it's not crazy that silver and gold are ripping. We are in a new mining bull market. This is the bull market that everybody that has been waiting for since 2008, 2009 for the metals. Start following that. Understand there is going to be a rotation out of tech. It maybe for a little while. You know, you have to ask yourself right now, what are the catalysts for the market? Is a vaccine really a catalyst? Right now? Is it realistic? Hey, we got a vaccine, like we've developed it. Okay, well how long is it going to take that vaccine to get to the market? To be produced, mass produced? Then you have to set up the infrastructure to deliver it. Yes, it's not something that happens overnight. And these are all things that you have to consider when you're, you know, making your trades and deciding when to pull profit off the table. Guys, I'm pulling profit off the table in my long-term portfolio. You know? Why? Because, honestly, I shouldn't be able to get into Square and make 100% in 3 months. You know? I shouldn't be able to buy, I mean, guys, think of it this way, and Mike could attest to this. Guys, hedge funds don't make that type of return for their clients. You know? We were given an absolute gift with March and then the Fed stimulus. Now it's the moment where we have to take advantage of it. Pull some money off the table and start relocating it to different places. Whether that's being short commercial real estate or, you know, investing in the miners and precious metals. And then on top of that, guys, we're 100 days from the election. Now you have to start factoring in what a new presidency could look like. And that's not a political, you know, me taking a political stand that I like Biden over Trump. But that has to be factored in. Because one, you know, you're basically voting for deficits on both sides. They're both going to run huge deficits. Okay? One is going to already said, hey, guess what? Corporate tax cuts are going to go away. And that needs to happen, guys. That's not a matter of like, should we do it? That has to happen. Because how are we going to pay for all this stuff? A new report just came out that says to fight coronavirus just every year, just basic coronavirus is going to be like, I think it was $200 billion. Or is it $200 billion or $20 billion? They're both big numbers. So let's just say $20 billion. Guys, where do you think that comes from? So, you know, look, I'm long a couple things right now. I've got really one trade on, and then I've got some weed trades going on. But like, I'm buying my weed portfolio stuff with profit. That way I don't have to worry about it. I'm just rolling profit from trades into different weed companies that I like. I'm going to focus on some of the weed stuff because this is an important week. And, everybody listening, don't throw out the kickers or I'll kill you. But, I'm just going to do what's been working for me and has been working for everybody, taking low volatility options and spitting them into, 1,000% gainers over 3 weeks by, making these Frankenstein trades, which I just did a webinar on Friday for like 2 hours to cover all this. So, you guys need to learn options. You need to, understand your risk. I don't know any better place to do it. And that's it. Next question.
Yeah, I like it. Good stuff. Anybody have any questions for the Wolf and everything that he just discussed, guys? Anybody have any questions? Naveen wants to know about Roku, Jay.
Roku? Yeah, guys. So obviously you guys know that every time I trade Roku, I put it in an ambulance and send it to, it never makes it home. It's always in the morgue. I have to yell at Mike a little. He bullied me into selling my Roku position. Because he's like, he sends me a text. He's like, "What the hell? Your 13th take profit?" And I was like, "Dude, while you were eating a sandwich, I was reloading." And then his next thing was like, you should just trade Roku.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, guys, I've just been absolutely annihilating Roku, and I love trading Roku. But here's the thing: I think Roku has earnings. I think August 6th, so that's not this week, next week sometime. As much as I love being in that Roku trade, I think it's tested that 147, 148 area a few too many times. And we've gotten really lucky, but I also don't want to stretch out that channel. So right now, the channel that I've been seeing is we'll go down to 148, and then we'll move to like 152. And then, we get to that like pivot where, okay, if we can break 152.50 and 153 with some volume, then we can go to 155. We break 155. It's usually like a hot knife all the way to 158. But it pulls back. We keep getting rejected up there. And, everybody's always like, hey, Roku's at 155. Are you going to buy calls? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wait. So I've been getting paid a lot more by being patient on Roku. But if, let's say, it goes down and tests like 147 tomorrow, I might jump in a little bit, but I'm going to respect it and be like, hey, this thing could end up breaking down because it also has a really bad habit going into earnings of like being choppy and then putting out good earnings and then failing. But here's the tip for Roku after earnings. The next day is the best day to trade Roku, especially if you're scalping. It's just like up and down because you've got two factions. You've got the cult that thinks that it should go right back up, and then you got the people that just want to sell into the cult because they're just like, all right, I'm just taking my profit. But that day usually just bounces around, and you get like these really nice ranges for just trading options. And, I'm looking forward to that more than anything. So yeah, that's Roku for you. So don't push it to the limit. Respect that 147, 148 area. Watch, tomorrow we'll probably go to like 153 and then reject. It has a tendency to pop off open and then drop $2 and then pop back up. The reason I like trading Roku is that for the most part it trades on its own little island and isn't affected as much by like the SPY and Apple as a lot of other things. But that's not to say that it doesn't take notice of what's going on in the broader market. So when like Apple and everything were getting slammed, Roku is actually going up. But then eventually it went from like 158 to 151. So it's a cult stock. Just respect it and don't get yourself into any situation. The one thing that you need with Roku is time. I wouldn't be getting into like weeklies you intend to hold overnight if it's past Wednesday. You could go.
You can go. Mike, any thoughts on Moderna for a day trade tomorrow after they received another $500 million? I think you can definitely get a relief bounce on Moderna. That stock's gotten crushed.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Thanks. Guys, this is something I see a lot. Right? Now everybody's Grandpa Wolf is coming on. Guys, far too often in options, I see people chasing moves. In this market right now, you can win, you can, maybe 40% of the time, depending on how quick you are. I mean, the quicker you are, the higher your percentage is. But a lot of times that move is priced in and you're just buying somebody else's option. Like if I see a cap up on Moderna and I'm already in it in calls, I'm selling into you. And you have to understand, like, there might not be enough meat on the bone. And if that thing turns on you, it's going to be violent. And this goes from Moderna, the SPY. I mean, guys, on Friday, people were asking, like, hey, should I buy more SPY puts? And I'm like, are you crazy? Like, this thing's going to bounce. Are you looking at the level? Why do you want to buy SPY puts right at 319? You're going to get crushed. And sure enough, they're like, oh, okay. And actually, some of them were like, okay, they bought calls. I'm like, oh, I'm out 40%. So don't chase moves and options. Chase Moderna, guys. Look, people were chasing that Moderna news last week, and what happened to them? They got destroyed.
Where do I think the bottom is on MKLA? Oh.
30.
It's at 30 now.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it's at 30.
I haven't looked at it. Oh, there's no bottom, man. That thing could go to $15.
Yeah. 20, 15. 20 or 15. The warrants are at 1150. So maybe it can go to 1150. I don't know. Guys, I mean, the company is just so far away from profitability and from.
Yeah, they just got hopes.
Yeah.
And orders.
Yeah.
That aren't guaranteed. And guys, you also have to understand the CEO is actually really smart, raising money at these prices. But those people that are buying it, those suckers who are buying it, they'll wait. They'll wait it out. Like if it's an institution, they won't lose because They'll just short it and use their stock to cover. You know, retail isn't afforded that. So guys, it's like everybody jumping on the EV bandwagon because of Tesla. You see all these little guys like Solo, God knows what else, just making these moves. You know, you can't eat off of Tesla's plate that long. You know, at the end of the day, you're buying smarter traders' shares that just know, like, hey, it's time to move on to another trade. Move on. There's too many risks.
Yeah. So, guys, anybody else have any other questions? Glenny trades. How about those Yankees? Big win today, bro. Big win today. Basically, investors that gave the company money, guys, they can buy shares at $11.50. Basically, is what that means. They can exercise their warrants and buy shares at $11.50.
Is it free trading warrant? Like when what's
I'm
the
not
strike on
I'm not
warrant?
even sure. I'm not even sure, honestly. I'm not even sure what the terms are on it.
Yeah, generally, guys, there's a time frame on that. So it could be like 6 months. And, look, warrants, people, sometimes they're good. A lot of times they're just really dilutive. And they're a hedge on the position. Like they're a freebie. Warrants are like, in case it goes wrong, you still have those to make you whole. You know, like when I invest in companies before they're public, I'm always getting warrants. You know, so like I just made an investment in a company. I got 200,000 shares and 100,000 warrants.
Here, Wolf, I'll let you take this one too. G Webs just said anything for the weed market this week.
Yeah, so you have TrueLeave, which unlocked on Saturday, so yesterday. So July 25th, date, 54 million shares are now, the founders, which control like 68% of the shares, and their investors are now free to sell if they want. Now, Kim Rivers, the CEO, says she's not selling. The thing that worries me is it's still a lot of shares, and they don't have the volume to support like 1 million shares coming out in like a 2-day period. And honestly, and I told her this weekend, because we were talking, I was like, honestly, like the more your stock gets crushed from this unlock, I was like, the better it's going to be, because you got to give people an opportunity to come in lower. Nobody wants to buy this thing and then get the rug pulled out. No. You have to understand that people that invested in TrueLeave at like $4 are up like 400%. Now, if you were up 400% on something and you've been locked up, and kept from selling for years, you're going to want to see some type of return. Now, they're cognizant of this, so I don't think you're going to see it day one. And for people that aren't founders, it's not like those shares just are automatically free. You've got to do stuff. You got to get opinion letters, the legend removal, and the company will slow roll that sometimes. But it is going to be interesting to see what happens. But No, look, I'm starting to build positions in the weed space, focusing on the United and not Canada, and then focusing on companies that some of you guys have probably never heard of, that are in Canada and pillaging or going to pillage. So, and that's something that the members in True Trading Group are getting, because you get me, and I know weed, hence the name.
Yeah, guys, if anybody ever has questions about marijuana, cannabis, I mean, there's no one that knows that industry better than the Wolf. Whenever I have questions about cannabis stocks, the market, or what stocks I'm investing in or whatever, I mean, I don't trust anybody else's opinion on that sector other than the Wolves.
Yeah, right. And guys, I'm not a Monday morning quarterback. I should do things in advance. So to give you an idea, we put a trade on at the end of June, and it was very specific to what was going to happen. And we traded options in 2 companies and absolutely destroyed it. And nobody was even talking about it. And because I take copious notes and I understand the movement, I knew that this July we were going to get a big cover on the pot stocks, which was going to put us over certain levels, and all those options just crushed. To give you an idea, I turned a $600 investment in Kronos and just kept on swinging it, playing the channel before this trade into a $6,000 profit in 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was nuts. All right, guys. I mean, I think that pretty much kind of wraps things up for us. It's we're 10:30, been on here for about 2 hours. I can't believe how fast time flies when we're doing these streams, guys. I honestly love doing these streams with you guys. I mean, time just absolutely flies. I feel like I've been only on for an hour. I've been on for 2 hours. What I will kind of ask real quick, guys, I want to know if any of you have questions about True Trading Group, or about a membership, or about what you guys get access to by joining the fam. Does anybody have any questions? Christopher Moese, no, I've never. Thank you. Says he loves my trading style. Thank you, Christopher. I've never considered 2 sell stop zones, because what dictates which zone you stop out on? Nice. Nick Jones says, yo, my friend signed up this week and already made $5,000. Kimberly Hines. Kimberly says, do you trade the whole day or try to stick to morning action? Kimberly, we trade in True Trading Group the entire day. There is nothing else I'd rather be doing than sitting at my desk trading. I trade the entire day. I'm not one of those traders that's done by 11 o'clock. I trade the entire day. Sometimes there's better opportunity in the afternoon than there is in the morning. Let's see. Yes, are they real time? The charts you want us to download. Yes, everything is real time. Everything is real time. No, Tom Markham. Tom Markham says, do you have a Discord? No, Tom, we have our own proprietary trading software, our chat software. So we have a chat room that's live from 7:30 a.m. Eastern until around 5:30, 6 p.m. Eastern every single day. That is live. It's a chat room. It is also a screen share where I share my screen with you. You see exactly what I'm doing during the day. And there's also a live audio feed where I'm talking on the mic. The Wolf is talking on the mic. and we're telling you exactly what we're doing and what we're seeing. Let's see. Trying to just get caught up with these questions, guys. David Majeski says, when is there a time I can be in chat during the day when you trade? David, the whole day. I am in the chat room the whole day. David, I'm in the chat room the whole day. Okay. So I'm there the entire day. Like I said, our chat room opens at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, and Jason Simmons, who is one of our moderators, is on the mic at 7:30 a.m. Eastern with his screen share, going over the watch list, pre-market movers, economic data, what's going on that day. Then I come on at around 9:15, and I go over my watch list, my game plan, and then I'm on the mic and I'm in the trading chat room the entire day. And then after the close, I go over and do an end of the day recap, and we recap my trades from the day, winners and losers. We talk about lessons, whether it's technical or mental, that we can take away from the trading session. Bradley Cox, watch list for tomorrow. I don't know yet. We got to see what happens tomorrow morning, Bradley. I don't create my watch list until I see what's going on in the morning. We're getting a little bit. Futures are still just kind of sitting here up about 3 to 4/10%. So we'll have to see. I wait for the morning to create my watch list. No, Mateo says, do you guys have any predictive AI tools? No, Mateo, I don't use any AI software when it comes to trading. Mateo, all my trading is done, myself manually. My own technical analysis, my own charting, my own everything. I don't use any AI softwares at all. But whenever I enter, or whenever any one of the moderators enter or exits a trade, a push notification pops up in chat and also on the mobile app. That's why, guys, it's very important for all of you, any of you that are joining TTG tonight, you guys make sure you download the mobile app, because the mobile app, you can makes it easy for you guys to follow along and trade with us seamlessly, whether you're at work, you're in a meeting, you're on a conference call, you're at the grocery store, you're at your kid's soccer game, whatever it is that you're doing. Having the mobile app will make it easier for you guys to follow along and trade with us, because on your smartphone or on your tablet, you can see the screen share, you can listen to the audio analysis, and you get a push notification whenever one of the mods enters or exits a trade in real time. There's no delay. It's in real time. It's connected directly to the charting, to the chat software. Oh, Cannabelle, you're funny, man. So none of us have jobs, Michael. That's why we need you. Emmanuel Liulian. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It says, guys, I joined TTG 2 weeks ago, and it's easily the easiest 1K spent. I lost $2,500 on Robinhood doing this on my own, and I made back 1K in 1 week alone on Wolf's options. I highly recommend TTG. This too shall pass. Says, would it be worth to join if I only have a cell phone? Cell phone is my computer. Yes. It's actually crazy you say that. This too shall pass. Now, listen, I don't recommend it. Okay, I'll never tell somebody that you're better off trading on a cell phone than a trading setup. I trade on a trading setup. I have 3 monitors and a laptop. But the Wolf only trades on a cell phone. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I can confirm and verify that the Wolf literally trades from his cell phone every single day. It's the craziest thing I've seen. But yes, this too shall pass. When you're asking, can you just trade from your cell phone? Yes, because you can just download the mobile app, and from your cell phone, you can see the screen share, you can listen to the audio analysis, and have your trading account open on your cell phone. Because then when you get a push notification on the app that says, okay, we bought this stock, whatever price, whatever it is, you can then just go right into your trading account and you can follow along the trade if you want to. So yes, you definitely could trade with just a cell phone. But again, I think it's better to trade with the desktop. The Wolf only trades on his phone. But yes, it is possible to just follow along on your cell phone. We actually have one of our members. I just had a one-on-one with him 2 weeks ago. He's a truck driver, and he works sometimes like 18-hour days, and he's driving. Basic guys, listen, this is dead serious. He's driving one of those Big Mac trucks. He's driving. He has the mobile app open on his cell phone. So he's listening to everything that's going on in chat as he's driving. When a push notification comes off in chat, he pulls over, opens up his thing, and places the trade, sets a stop loss, gets back on the road, and keeps on driving. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Nice. Paul says, I made 3 times the lifetime membership this week alone. Looking forward to this for sure. Guys, lifetime membership is $4,000. Paul made three times that. That's incredible. Just this week alone. Great job. Great job. Nice. Hugo Boss turned $50 into $850 so far this year. Next goal is to break 1K. You are well on your way. Great job. That's incredible. $50? Wow. Billy Rape, man, we're here. Billy Rape, I'm here to help you, my man. I promise I will walk you. I will be next to you. Billy, I'll be walking next to you every step of the way. I'll be walking right next to you every step of the way, brother. Bradley Cox says, guys, I was bleeding money before I joined. It's the best thing I've ever done. I love it. I love it, guys. Nice. Sherry says, I'm new to all this. I'm going to start my classes tomorrow. Sherry, great. Awesome. Exciting. Very exciting time for you. Getting started. I love it. Yes, Baby Zay, you can do it all on your cell phone. Yes, Baby Zay, you can do it all on your cell phone. The entire website is completely there you are, Smoke. There you are, Smoke. I see you. Smoke's like, yep, I pull over. Smoke, what's up, brother? If you're on the road right now, Smoke, stay safe, my man. Stay safe. Guys, there's Smoke. Smoke is the person I was talking about that pulls over. Smoke, if you're on the road right now, man, stay safe. I know you're always working those long hours, man. Stay safe. I'll see you at the open. Make sure to try to get some rest before the opening bell. Try to get some rest before the opening bell. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, guys. So Flo Maui says, Mike, how do you trade your stop loss? Get out after a 3-minute candle? No, Flo Maui. I use mental stops, first of all. I use mental stops. When my mental stop loss area is reached, I will give it a second or two to see how the stock reacts at that area, but I don't wait for a 3-minute candle to close. When my stop loss area is violated, I exit my trade. Oh, Sam Gold, another truck driver. Sam's driving through Colorado right now. Beautiful state. Beautiful state. Sam, stay safe on the road, man. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys. So, guys, listen, seriously. For those of you that are considering joining the TGD family, yes, Andrew, yes. Andrew says, I turned 9K into almost 14K immediately, and the membership fee too. Went down to 1, now back to 5 because of the classes. I was too quick and overconfident, and now it's all about the education. Yes, Andrew. What broker do I recommend? France? I use Lightspeed. Oh, great. Short squeeze. I love it. I like to hear that. Short Squeeze says, yo, Mike, my one-on-one with Jason Simmons on Friday was amazing. He's so smart and gave me a dope new strategy. I can't wait. Beautiful. Short Squeeze. I like to hear that, man. R. Hirsch, what's up, R. Hirsch, my man? R. Hirsch says, guys, sign up. Mike and the whole THD fam is the truth. All right. All right, guys. So like I was saying, if you guys are considering joining the THD family, you guys want to get all of my courses included for free with your membership, the mobile app, the trade simulator, the real-time quotes, the stock screener, the stock profile section, the analyst report section, the premium blog, the TTG forum where you can communicate with members 24/7, get access to the Traderpalooza virtual trading seminars. And then, of course, guys, do not forget, for those of you that sign up tonight by midnight with the coupon code TTG720, will get a guaranteed seat in my next private study mentor group session that will be hosted not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday is my next private study group session where I'm going to be covering different topics in great detail. Your seat is guaranteed. I like to keep my sessions very small. Those seats fill up very quickly. You sign up by midnight, you get a guaranteed seat in that trading mentor session. Guys, also, our prices are going up in August. A typical membership is $1,836 for the year. With the coupon code TTG720, you get a 36% discount. That's $1,165. Our price is going up August 1st. So $1,165 is the lowest price point you are ever going to get a membership for TTG again. If you guys sign up at that price point, what you pay today is what you pay next year when your membership renews. Okay? There is, you guys, if our membership goes up to $1,400, you will not be paying $1,400 on the renewal date. You'll be paying $1,165. Okay? You pay what you pay today. Okay? And you guys get access to the Traderpalooza event. And of course, you guys get locked in and you get your seat reserved. So again, use that coupon code TTG720. Each and every single one of you, real quick, guys, give me a like that, but hit that like button for me, guys. Show me how much you appreciate these live streams. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys get notified every single time I go live and every single time I post these videos with helpful technical and mental lessons. Okay? So that's it, guys. Sign up before midnight, get a guaranteed spot in my next private study mentor group session. Okay? You get a guaranteed spot in my next private mentor study group. You guys get access to the Traderpalooza virtual trading workshop seminar. That's on August 1st. And of course, you guys get access to the entire trading curriculum for free. All right? Take care, guys. It was a blast. I love doing these live streams with you all. This tonight was a good one. We'll see how this week plays out. We've got a huge week of earnings coming up. Apple, Facebook, Google, Amazon, all the big boys are reporting this week, guys. We'll see what that means for the overall markets. All right? Take care, guys. I will see you all in chat tomorrow. We'll take a look and see what Tesla is doing. Don't forget, I still have about 20% of my Tesla put option trade already sold the bulk for 103% gain. I'm looking for more this week. We'll see if we get it. Take care, guys. Don't forget that coupon code TTG720 before our prices go up August 1st. 5 days. See you guys in chat. Later, guys.
Later.